Welcome back to another review by Mega Train Lover. Today we're having a look at another Bachmann locomotive, and you can tell from the box, the text, that this is a Stanier Mogul 260. You can also tell that the locomotive is not in the box, as I've taken it out, I've given it a run in, I've even DCC'd it. And obviously for the purposes of the review I'm not going to put it back into the box, there's just no point to it. But anyway, we'll have a look at the box first. So it's a standard box which you'd expect from Bachmann these days. And the product code is 31692. It's a Stanier Mogul number 42968 in British Railways lined black with the lake crest. And it was indeed £110 from the model shop which is nearest to me, which is Jane's Trains in London. If you are in London, I highly recommend you go check them out. Jane's Trains in Tooting, definitely the best model railway shop I've been to. Obviously it's the closest one to me, it's one of the last remaining traditional model shops in London, but it is fantastic. Honestly, if you are in London, it's worth the trip down to Tooting to see Jane's Trains. They are fantastic, very friendly people. Anyway, if we turn to the back of the box, you can see you get tons of information about the class. You can, if you'd like to read. There we go. So the Stanier Mogul, as its name suggests, they were built to the design of William Stanier, who of course was the chief mechanical engineer for the LMS, and there were 40 of these locomotives built between 1933 and 1934, and they were built at Crewe Works. You could basically think of these as the precursor to Stanier's more successful mixed traffic locomotives, which were of course the Black Fives, of which 842 were built. But this was basically the locomotive which Stanier first experimented with in order to basically see what he could improve on his next mixed traffic design. Now, the LMS already had several Moguls in the form of the Hughes Crab, and these were basically a slightly modified version of the Hughes Crab, with obviously very kind of Stanierized features. And as mentioned, they were mixed traffic, and they had pretty normal lives. You know, they just worked wherever on the LMS network, but they were withdrawn between 1963 and 1967. One of them has been preserved, and it is in fact the one which is represented in model form here, number 42968, which is preserved on the Severn Valley Railway. This locomotive was sent to Barry Scrapyard, and she was rescued there around, I think it was the 1970s, and at the time of making this video she's in the final stages of overhaul. In fact, she is doing running in turns as we speak, but she is out-shopped in LMS livery, so she has the number 2968 rather than the British Rail number 42968. However, what we're going to do now is we're going to put the box to one side, and we're going to bring the engine and the tender together this time, because they are joined in the more traditional way with a bar and wire. So if I just bring it down, so I need to be very careful. As you can see, there is the arrangement I was talking about. Wow. Wow. What can I say? She's absolutely beautiful. You can definitely tell it's a Stanier design. It looks like one. Yeah, easily. You know, it's a Stanierized version of a Hughes Crab basically, and precursor to the Black Fives. Now, straight away, I'm going to point out some negatives. The RRP of this model is £160. I believe it's more now with the newer models, but the model of the RRP for this one was £160. I got mine for 110, which is a pretty good discount. However, let's kind of look at this model with the mindset that this would cost £160. There are no sprung buffers on neither the engine nor the tender. That is, now I know you may be thinking, oh, what's the point of sprung buffers? For £160, you would expect little details like that. So it's a bit of a shame. Another thing which I wasn't too keen on is the fact that £160 and you get so much detail in the detail bag, and it's more than just, you know, the brake rigging and obviously I've fitted some of the detail at the front, like the coupling and the brake pipe, but you get other things such as the cinder glass, the lubricating gear, and also the guard, the coal guard that wraps round the top of the tender. You know, for £160 you would expect these kinds of details to be already fitted, but it is what it is, I suppose. Anyway, that's the negatives out of the way. Positives. Firstly, considering the size of the locomotive, I mean, it's not too big, it's a medium-sized engine, it's very, very heavy. It's actually really heavy. This is despite the fact that the actual body, so the boiler and the smoke box, this is plastic, but the running board is made of metal, and that gives the engine loads of weight. So I'd be very, very, very surprised if this engine had any problems with traction, because I'm having slight trouble actually holding it. Not only because of the fact that it's got the tender, which I can't uncouple, but yeah. So I mentioned I fitted the details myself. Also fitted the lights at the front using black tack. There's the locomotive's number 42968. If the camera focuses, there we go. And as mentioned, this is the preserved one on the Severn Valley Railway, and it's the only preserved one. And just look at the wheels. I mean, the valve gear looks really, really nice. Obviously, you get the handrails running along both sides of the boiler, the top feed, whistle, and the safety valves. There is another thing which I'm not too pleased about. £160 you would expect an opening cab roof vent, but no. I've seen locomotives, there are locomotives which are far cheaper that do have an opening roof vent, so why Bachmann didn't fit one onto this one is slightly beyond me. But anyways, I'll stop being too critical of this, but I mean, you know, it is a review, so you do need to point out some of the negatives as well. Otherwise it just basically becomes an advert. But oh crikey, the pins come out of the, oh, crikey. Let me just fix that quickly. Actually, no, I won't bother with it now. I'll fix it later. See, there's the other side of the locomotive, which looks really nice again. Number 42968. Slightly more detail in the form of the reversing rod, which does appear to be made out of plastic. Yeah, that's definitely plastic, but it looks quite nice. Let's have a look at the cab. The cab looks really nice. You get the regulator, the reversing handle, and all the dials and the gauges. So the cab looks really nice. And now we move on to the tender, which, as you can see, is a Fowler tender, despite it being a Stanier design. But obviously this was before Stanier designed his own style of tender. The tender looks really nice. You get British Railways crest. You get all the riveting. The coal looks looks okay, not the best, but I reckon I can just fix that up with a bit of real coal. And you get the handbrake and the water scoop handle, the water filler cap. Here's the back of the tender, and with the NEM coupling. If we just need to kind of turn this round the other way, I need to be very, very careful. Let me try affixing the pin into the. There we go. Finally fixed the pin. Yeah. There's the other side of the tender. So yeah, all in all, you know, despite the negatives I've pointed out, it's still a really, really nice looking model. I mean, it's a beautiful model, really, really nice. But let's see how she performs. So here we have the Bachmann Stanier Mogul on the track. What we're going to do, we're going to select the number and watch her go. away she goes. Wow. Not bad. Not bad at all. In fact, very nice. She did take off quite fast, but I reckon it's to do with the decoder, so I'm just gonna, I'll do some tweaks to the CV, but yeah, no, beautiful. Let's get a few shots of her passing. Yeah, very nice, really nice. I have added a few details since I did the first part of this review, including the iron around the sort of, not the coal iron around the coal bunker, also the lubrication gear and the yeah, just to make it look a bit better. Yeah, very nice. Just to conclude this video, would I have paid the recommended retail price for this? Probably not. I mean, it's a really nice looking model, but there's a few features on there that, lack of features rather, which doesn't really justify the £160 recommended retail price. I mean, lack of sprung buffers, no opening roof vent, and obviously all the details which you need to fit, things like cinder glass and stuff. Yeah, you know, I mean, if you really want one at the recommended retail price, then, you know, by all means, but I would definitely prefer to get a discount, which obviously I did. I got it for £110 second hand, but yeah. But no, it's still a very nice model though, really nice. Anyway, thanks so much for watching, and I shall see you in the next video. Goodbye.